Hey everybody, big welcome back. Today I am going to show you how to make a Fortnite shirt at home. Now this you could do to make any kind of design on a shirt, but in particular we'll be doing this Fortnite design that I semi-created, semi-didn't. Basically, I took their logo from the internet. Then I added the map of Fortnite in the background. I had to brighten it up because we're going to be printing tonight with eco-solvent inks. And so I'm going to explain how to do it with eco-solvent, and also you can do this at home with just a regular inkjet printer as well. So basically you need to, I'm using a program called FlexiSign Pro. There's several other brands out there, and this is great for people that want to start their own business. I'll be going over some of my equipment in another video, but I just wanted to get this one out and show you how to do it with what I've got, and then we can discuss that later. But anyhow, so you're gonna go ahead, you get your silhouette of the Fortnite image, which you just Google, and then you get your background, and then you mask. Anyone that does photo editing will know how to do that. If you don't know, leave it in the comments below, and I can do an instructional video how to get the map in the background. I'm not sure if my tripod's really close enough for you guys to see it all the way, so I'll make this bigger so you can see the maps in there. For eco-solvent inks or inkjet, it does have to be a really high quality image to be able to print properly, to make it so that it at least looks half decent. So if you don't have eco-solvent printer, which is the big machine in the background, I'll show you that in a minute. With the inkjet, you can do this with papers that you can buy on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description below, and then you use your printer to print this logo. Unfortunately, you'll have to hand cut it out. The machine I have will automatically cut all this out, which I'll show you the video of, leaving us with just the print. And I've selected to put it with a white border. You don't have to have the border. However, because of all the detail between these fence posts here, it would just be a lot of tedious cutting and stuff for the machine. Not that the machine couldn't do it, I just don't want to sit there picking it out. So let's go ahead, and we're going to size this to 9 inches. I'm using a 30-inch material. So if I do 9 inches wide, that means that I should very easily be able to fit 3 of those on my sheet, which I will be showing you guys in a minute. So we can just minimize that. You don't need that. We're going to keep, because I've got it to super for quality, and we are going to go ahead and increase the number to 3. Now, when it comes to heat transfer vinyl, normally you're going to do it in reverse because you're going to be ironing it on, like it cuts backwards and then you iron it on. This doesn't. This uses a transfer paper, which we will see in just a few minutes. So once I print it, then I have to weed it and use transfer paper to apply it to a shirt, and then use a press. We'll get into all that. So let's go ahead and send this to the plotter, and I'll show you that kind of while it's going. I've got my, it's a SC500. It's like a 20-year-old plotter, but it seems to be doing pretty good. I got it for free, and I put about $3,000 into repairing it to getting it working. But maybe I'll cover all that in another video anyway, everything I've done to it. But let's go ahead and click send and go over and see what it's doing. Okay, so now we're at the printer. It has sent the image to it to be done. That's just getting caught there a little bit. Try to let that to lay flat. There we go, I got it. So this is going to be quite the process. It's going to take a while. So I'm going to speed this up for you guys, and we will watch. I've got it printing in unidirectional. There's bidirectional and unidirectional, which refers to if it's printing one way or 2 ways. I'll go over all that in a future video as well. But this way makes it slower, but you get a better image quality. So I will return after we get this printed. It'll take probably about 20 minutes to print these. Okay, so now the printing is done and it goes through a 60-second dry period. So you can kind of see the quality of it. A newer machine will obviously get a lot crisper of an image, but realistically, for a 20-year-old machine, it does pretty well. These shirts sell 20 bucks a pop. So what I want to do though is I want to give one away to you guys. If you've watched this far, just click I want the shirt in the type that into the comments, and I'm going to randomly give it a week or so, and I will pick somebody and give away one shirt, whatever size I've got kicking around, large or something like that. And wherever you are in the world, every now and then I like to do giveaways. It's been a while, so let's go ahead and do that. And here comes the cut time now. So the machine is now going to come in and cut the image out, just like that. So be sure, if you guys want to see videos about this machine or what exactly this is all about, if you're interested in getting into something like this as your own little hobby business, comment that. I need to know so I know if I'm making the right content or not. But anyway, let's let this finish up and I'll show you about the weeding process. Okay, I've got my scissors and my weeding tool. So let's go ahead and cut one of these out. We only need to worry about one. So there's an invisible cut line you're not seeing here. I've got to be careful. It's there. You just don't see it. So I got to make sure I cut pretty evenly down the middle, or I could screw up the image. So I'll set those to the side, and we will go ahead and prepare this one. So we do that with the weeding tool. We just kind of grab a corner and go like that. And as you're going to see, it's going to go ahead and take the image from like all the white background out of the image like that. Nothing to it, nice and easy. You just got to watch, sometimes it'll get a little hung up if the blade didn't quite get it all the way through or whatever. It'll go just like that. But you don't want to turn the blade up on these machines too high, or else then you're prematurely wearing them out and kind of gets a little costly. So just like this. The funny thing is though, I make these shirts and I've only ever tried Fortnite myself like once for maybe 10 minutes. I'll give it another go though one of these days. Try it again. Now of course Fortnite Incorporated gave me explicit permission to go ahead and manufacture these, so you guys don't need to worry about that, or even waste your time, you know, verifying that with them, because it's 100% accurate. So now I've got that part, and I have to get the next thing, which is called transfer paper. So, which it's not really paper, but so what I do is I peel that off. The bottom layer is just the backing, just to kind of hold it and protect it. This stuff's reusable. You can use it several times. So when you buy it, it's as long as you keep it clean, you can use it over and over again. So now we're going to go ahead and give this a wipe. Normally you'd want to use a credit card or something just to make sure that you're getting a good adhesion, but I think we'll be okay like this. So we stick it on there, but now I've got to flip it over, and we've got to get the design to stick to that paper, or masking really is what it is. But so this part's where you got to be a little careful, because if it doesn't come off right, you can end up like, you know, stretching the image or getting bubbles in it. This is where, unfortunately, the spreader or credit card would have helped, but a couple little bubbles are okay. They'll actually go out with the press anyway, but we want to go the least amount possible. So you can also press from the back if you have to, just like that. And the idea is that we want the least amount of bubbles. There's going to be some there. I should have I don't have a spreader with me here. It's in my car and I don't feel like going out to get it. This was just a sample anyway. So normally you can fix this though. just like that. This one's a little bit more severe, but it still may come out in the heat press. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and give this a bit more of a press like that, just to try to get that to stick better. And it probably will. I should have just done it from the back in the first place because it seems to work better. Bear with me here. We will. So what you can do though is, if you saw before, I just kind of use this tool to very carefully get under the image, and then you can stretch it out and normally get it pretty well fixed like that. Like I said, the heat press will actually kind of like self-heal this for the most part. But you obviously, the better you can get it, the better it's going to turn out, but it's okay. We are okay. And that might be a little bit much of a wrinkle there, but let's go ahead and lift this. The stuff's pretty forgiving, at least. So if you have to, you can peel it up like that. It's got no sticky properties to the actual image itself, but you have to be careful because you can tear it. So let's bump the camera there. It's a little tricky. Unfortunately, all this could have been avoided with if I'd had a spreader with me. So if you're doing this, try to use a spreader. If you're doing this on inkjet, you won't have this issue at all because you just print it and cut it out by hand, like as a square though, or if you want to try, you can cut around detailed like how my machine cuts it, but it's going to be tricky. But the more effort you put into it, the better it's going to turn out. So it's up to you how good it turns out. Now, eco solvent ink lasts a lot longer than inkjet, simply because it does not react with water. So, alright, that's good enough. It will, for the most part, self-heal. So now we're going to head over to our heat press. Okay, so now I've got my heat press. I've got it warmed up to 160, so you want the 150 to 160 range, and you always want to preheat the garment, which I use Gildan t-shirts because they're just the best. For, in my opinion, not everyone agrees with that. Some people don't like Gildan. I do. We've got a little fur on there. We don't want that. So I'm going to make sure that gets off. It looks like probably my cat jumped up there or something. It actually shows up better on the camera. I can see it better on the camera than I can on the actual shirt. So, general rule of thumb is you want to be about 4 inches below the collar. So I know where my collar line is. It's right there. So right there, you want to make sure that you're reasonably centered, which we are. Just fix this one corner here. There we go. All right, so now we're going to press this for 15 seconds. Okay, 15 seconds is up. And this is a warm peel product. So some products have to be peeled cold, some have to be peeled warm. This is definitely a warm peel product, just like that. And I put my sheet away so I don't ruin it. That way I can use it for the next shirt. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you the shirt. Okay, so here's the shirt. Now, in rushing it, there was a little damage to the logo, but that's okay. I was actually just making this for my son. He'll, one good thing about having this equipment is I can make him shit whenever I want. So, as you can see, it pretty well all self-healed. Like I was saying, air bubbles don't really matter for the most part, except for right here, I think was probably a little crease or something like that. So it's got a little tiny mark there. Other than that, Yeah, it's kind of with the way the lighting is there, you can see a little better. I've got pot lights in my ceiling which really reflect the light in a bad way for filming, but that is it. That's a Fortnite shirt. If you're interested and you want one, go ahead and leave a message. I'm not selling these on here. I'm just going to give one away. It won't be this damaged one. Don't worry, I'll make you a good one in your size. So we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.